everybody. Wow. Whew, man, talk about trying to do something on the fly here. We had all kinds of technical problems on the G side tonight, not the Jeff side, but it's all taken care of. And let me bring my good friend G in the picture here, and let's go ahead and say hello, G. What's up tonight, G? How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, slew of
Shoo.
problems, technology, man. I'm telling you. And
Wow.
you think I would know something about this since I've been doing it for 30 years. But anyway, tonight we're going to talk about craps, stadium craps, electronic craps, not bubble craps, but uh, where you can actually hold the dice. It doesn't matter if you're a dice influencer, if it doesn't matter if you just pick them up and shoot them, it doesn't matter if you just like to bet, strategy, whatever. You're going to love what we're going to talk about. And we're not just going to do talking, we're going to do dice throwing. I'm going to show you some of my favorite dice tossing techniques for stadium craps, stuff that I go when I do go to Cherokee, when we go to Biloxi, and we hit Boomtown and several places. So this is not going to be a podcast. It's going to be a show and tell. So viewers, hang in there with us.
Ooh, what an opener, G. You actually act like you practice that a little bit. Wow.
You
That's
think
the
I
way
know
it
what I'm
goes.
doing, but I don't. You're the
Yep.
producer.
Yeah, well, producing this show has been off on the side of me. Let's go ahead and switch to your full screen, and I'm going to turn it over to you. Everybody, stand by. This is episode 9 of How to Toss on a Stadium Craps Table. This is dice tossing techniques. All right, G, let's
All
go.
right. So if you can see, the cameras are a little bit different. So um, I tried to put a high camera here as much as I can to show you what a stadium layout looks like. Now, a stadium craps layout does not have the numbers. Everything is on a software on the screen. It's just a regular layout, but it is a pretty much an about either 7.5 or 8 feet inside the tub, depending on which casino you go to. There's nothing here except maybe the logo. However, there are two, and I tried to put them right here. There are two bumps on this side. One that goes a long way, and then there's a gap right here, and one that goes long ways here, and there's a short gap. The stick person passes you the dice like this and like that. The reason why these bumps are here is because when you're shooting from straight out, they don't want you to slide the dice. So they put these bumps. The distance, as I said, it's about 8 feet, which is very, very good. It's very playable. I love these. The the width the width is about like this. I'm going to have Kelly or myself. I'm going to build a tub that you can take and just put right on top of my table and then turn it into a stadium crafts. I haven't done it yet, but right now I have the insert all the way at the back wall, and some of my cameras over here. Now, let's talk a little bit about this type of games and the one that's slowly fading away. I don't know why, but the roll to win. People mostly, I hear them, they shy away from these types of games because they think that it's fake craps, it's not real craps. That is so far beyond the truth that it's not even funny. The casino is giving you a gift. Think about it. Everything we talk about table etiquette and the stuff that pisses us off at the table, where people come in, buy in the middle of the roll, put their hand right in the middle, argue with the dealers about bets, all that stuff is non-existent on a stadium craps or electronic craps. People can come in at any time, sit down at their stations, buy in the middle of the roll. Nobody knows anything. It's just you and stick. There's no chips in the middle. There's no money. There's no yeah, Gen C, as we talked about last month, if you remember, coming up and saying, I want to roll the dice or everything. It is the perfect opportunity to kind of get clear your mind and get your mind on throwing. Not only that, but the casino can't bring in coolers. There are no chips on the table. So there's no oh, it's a long roll. Let's stop the roll and fill the count the chips or put more chips in. There's no cooler that comes in and wants to play the don't on you all the way from straight out where you're trying to land the dice. I love this because I can come up and it's just me, stick, and the layout. And I can recreate the entire environment here on my table at home. And I can practice my mechanics to where how I want to land the dice. This is only part one of why I love this type of game and why when I go to casino, like when we went to Cherokee a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Yo 11 and several others were with me. I went straight to the stadium craps. I didn't even go to the craps table, even though I played on the crapless table at some point or another while I was up there. I spent most of the time playing on the stadium craps because for a lot of the reasons why I just called out. I'm going to pause and take a sip because I know you're watching chats and other stuff, and I want you to chime in also, Jeff, because I know you have your thoughts about these types of tables.
Yeah, I do. I'm thinking of some questions. I'm trying to pay attention to chat. I'm trying to fine-tune your screen since we had the little snafu when we got started. I'm trying to make it so that people can actually see you and participate. But keep going, G.
Yeah, and again, it's a different layout. So, you're going to probably try and figure out, where's G at. I try to keep some of the main ones, like this is the zoom cam where you can see me with the dice. This one right here shows you how the dice is going to flow in the air and hit. And the long screen is the long toss right here. And of course you can see this is the tub. Now, the other reason why I like this is because you shoot from straight out. They'll tell you, your hand can't go past a certain point, but I don't care how long your hand is and how tall, you're not going to be able to reach the point that they tell you. However, they will allow you to set the dice and throw wherever you can reach. I'm going to say that again. If you can reach up here, you can toss from here instead of going all the way back here. Now, I don't know about you, but that's an extra 1.5 feet. So you went from 8 feet to 6.5 feet. I will take that any day of the week and twice on the weekend. Why? Because of the type of tosses that I do. And I've done it at Cherokee and I've done it at Boomtown and nobody says anything. When I stand on my toes and I lean over, I do that on the regular table anyway. And if I set the dice here, as long as I hit the back wall, they don't care. Now I've shortened my distance between here and there. Think about it. When you're at the regular craps table, in order to shorten your distance to 6.5 feet, you have to set the dice way up here. This is where stick stands. You have to be like where stick stands. They're giving you a freebie. They're saying, we're giving you freebies. We're going to give you bonus. We're not going to stop the roll, in the middle of the roll. We're not going to bring the money. There are no jokers coming in on the table, no coolers, none of that stuff. Give it your best shot. And this is what we're going to do tonight. So, you ready to get into some dice tossing techniques?
I'm ready. I'm ready if you're ready, G. I'm still working on the back end here to make everything happen, but let's keep the show rolling.
All right. I didn't know if there were any questions about, the layout or anything before I actually went through a few of the tosses.
Not as of yet. There isn't. If I may have missed a question. I don't remember that. Everybody was basically just saying hello and no pre-show and that kind of stuff. But let's just keep it rolling.
Yep. All right, so the first toss, and I've talked about this all the time, and I'm not trying to stir up any crap here. I'm just going to tell you. The first toss is the flea flicker. And I'm not going to do anything else other than say that this is the perfect toss. Now, you can literally set the dice all the way over here, that far. This is, I have a ruler right here. This ruler is a foot. So I have 1.5. Usually this line is about 1.5. You can set the dice right here, lean, and then throw it where it lands right here, and it will hit the back wall. Right here, land it right here, it'll hit the back wall. You have this distance right here.
Hold
It's
that
less
thought
than
right there.
5 feet.
You show that again,
It's less,
Jay?
it's less than 5 feet. Oh, nice bald spot. It's less than 5 feet. I will take that. I will take that, and thank you, Mr. Casino, for giving me that. And if you remember, the flea flicker is a nice flick towards the back wall.
Yeah.
And as long as it hits the back wall, and again, the stick guy will go like this, and then like that. Because if you jump over these bumps, the dice may turn, and they don't want to give you the dice showing a 7. So they'll slowly give you the dice. Now, what you will also see, and I forgot to mention, is that there's a round circle over here with a camera. There are people sitting down watching the table just like that, like you're throwing, and watching the results. They have to bring the dice, and the camera will verify the result of what he puts in. If it's a 4-2, he'll put in 4-2. The camera will verify the result. Roll is good. The stick person will give you the dice. So again, now I'm not setting into any set. I'm just picking the dice and putting it on top of each other. Now, can you throw it from here? Sure. Nothing's stopping you from doing it. If you want to throw it from here, go right ahead. Nothing is stopping you if that's how you feel. I enjoy leaning over and taking advantage of the distance that I have. You've seen me, Jeff, throw the drop shot in Biloxi. I lean over because Howard taught me that. It's a habit that I picked up from him. He does that. He leans over and tosses. So I picked that up. So the flea flicker is the first and best toss for these. You put it right here and you flick the dice and it goes. And we can talk about roll to win here in a minute, but I think they're phasing them out. But we'll talk about, there's no way I can recreate it on my table, of course, but we'll talk about that in a minute. I just caught the chat in my eye. All right, now the next toss I like to do on stadium craps is the drop shot. And the drop shot, usually from here all the way to the end of the table, is, it's pretty high. When we were at Cherokee 2 weekends ago, Mr. Yo 11 and I took turns running the drop shots. We both have long rolls. That son of a so-and-so, after I left, had a 42 roll. He couldn't do it while I was there, but he did pay me. He did pay me with 3 aces, aces in a row. But he had a 42 roller after I left, using the drop shot. But anyway, you can do the drop shot from here, and still lean over and just drop it, right? But you can also extend your arm and do the drop shot. I'm going to pick up the dice and bring them because I'm not good at zigzagging and maneuvering. You can still do the drop shot from here. The way you do it is you lean over, and the drop shot, I usually use my thumb and index. Just pick it up like this. So you lean over, pick it up, and just kind of like drop it all the way to the end. That's all you have to do. And if it's bouncy, you drop it lower. If it's not bouncy, you drop it higher. Again, I'm not setting the dice. I'm just picking it up. Whatever the outcome is, the outcome is. But I'm going like this, and then just like that. Just barely tossing them over there. Okay? Still with me, Jeff?
Yep, I'm here.
I know we if people only knew how close we came to canceling the show tonight because of our technical difficulties. So I'm just glad that we're on, and I hope people can hear me good and hear you good, because we didn't do a mic check on this. All right, the third and final toss that I like to do. I feel it's extremely bouncy at Cherokee, North Carolina. Only played a few hands. I'm not sure if he's saying on the stadium craps or on the regular tables. The regular tables, there's bounce. On the stadium craps, it's really bouncy. It is if you're throwing it really high. But we'll get to that in a second. I'll keep that particular chat. I forgot the name, but I'll keep that particular chat in mind for questions and answers later. The last one that I like to use on these types is a rolling toss. Now, the rolling toss, Howard taught me how to do a rolling toss. Usually starts from here and you roll it all the way. You cannot do that on a stadium craps because of these right here. So what I do, I've kind of modified it a little bit to where, and we haven't done the rolling tosses, so we'll, when we do the rolling toss video, I'll show you the proper grip and stuff like that. But what I do is, instead of starting from here, I lift up and then I toss the dice here and let it roll. Like that. And it's not sliding, it's rolling on the edges. I'll do it again. What I do is I kind of lift it up, toss it just a tad to where it passes this bar that they have, and let it roll instead of starting to roll from here. So you pick it up. I set it right here so that I can get my grip and angle correctly. And we're gonna go through that. Maybe next month I'll do the rolling tosses. I don't know, but we're gonna go through that. And I just kind of barely lift, not really high, barely lift, but I drop it right here. So I go like that. This one didn't roll, so my bad. I did it wrong. Got busy talking and forgot what I was doing. Let's do it again. So we get it right on the angle. There we go. And you can have it to where it barely touches. And as long as that red light doesn't beep and stuff like that, you're good. Because what they have is they have sensors. And the sensors have to detect both dice hitting the back wall. So
That I did not
if
know.
one die hits it and the other die doesn't, red light goes off.
Yeah.
And
That must be a new feature, because at my local they do not have that.
Yes, they have it at North Carolina, and I've seen it somewhere else. I forgot where. Maybe Boomtown, I don't know. But they have sensors back here, and both dice. And there's by the way, there's a big plexiglass. Now they don't like you to hit the plexiglass up here, but if you hit it every now and then, they don't say anything. But if you're all hitting it a lot, they'll tell you, "Sir, please don't hit the plexiglass. Keep the dice low."
Yeah, my local
But there are
doesn't even have
sensors in the
plexiglass
back.
there.
Sir?
My local doesn't have plexiglass in the back. The dice can still go off the table.
So at Cherokee, last year, they didn't have that. They got tired of running after the dice, so they put a plexiglass wall.
I can imagine.
Because I
that.
asked them, I said, what the heck is that? I said, COVID is done. Why do we have plexiglass? They're like, we're tired of picking up the dice. All right. So those are three of my preferred tosses. Now, can you throw any toss? Can you do the par toss or any other toss from here? Sure, you can. For me, my opinion only, for those are the types of tosses that work for me. And Yo 11's been joined with me at the hip on these, when we go to Cherokee. So he picked up these tosses. Um, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna drink a sip of water, and maybe we can have a, before I jump into the third point.
All right,
Any comments or questions so far?
There
I
have
can't
been
see
a
the
couple.
chat.
There have been a couple comments and questions, but we didn't tell the fine folks that are watching that we're going to take 5 more names for your jacket giveaway in the month of December. This is already September, so it's not that far away. That will be coming up
Yep.
a little bit later on in the show. And G, do we have another giveaway beside that, or is that it tonight?
Yes. No. We're gonna give away one of the big blankets, the fleece, on these shows. So there's going to be that giveaway where we're going to ship it to
All right.
someone, and we're going to take 5 more names to add to the jackets. So yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
If you have some
Wait.
comments or questions, pop them up, and then we'll continue.
I will. Let me just get it queued up here. You all. I'll go back just 1 second. Pick up the right screen. Let's see if I can get something a little bit better that'll come up here. I know you're going to be minimized there.
That's all right.
Let's see here. Somebody asked, White Belt 4 Life says, which dice set do you use for the drop shot? And once again, I want to emphasize, this is on a stadium craps table, not a regular casino grade, 12, 14, or 16-foot table that's in a casino.
Right.
Can you answer that?
Yes. Let me bring my my show and tell dice.
Sure.
So, yeah. So for stadium craps, I like to use facing me 6-2-2-6.
You're
So
fine.
so there's a 2 and 5 and a 6 and a 1 over here. Okay? Now you can, the reason why I like to use 6-2-2-6 on a drop shot is because on stadium craps I double pitch, and usually I'm double pitching the right die. So usually I'm getting 6-5s, or I'm getting a 6, and this dice goes to the right, and I get a 3-1. The reason why is because I like that is because I'm usually betting the field, playing the field with a black chip when I toss. Now this is on stadium craps. Regular craps, I have a different set. You have to be careful. This is a very, very dangerous set because single pitches gives you. There's a lot of 7s in the 7 plane. I know we haven't talked about the 7 plane and the dice sets and stuff like that. There are lots of 7s here. There's 3-4s, 3-4s, 6-1, 5-2. So you have to make sure that what set you're using you're comfortable with. If you single pitch, then I would recommend doing 6-5-2-1 facing you, because if you single pitch the left die, it'll be a hard 10. If you single pitch the right die, it'll be 12s. I've seen I've seen stadium craps with crapless because it's a software. So the software can be crapless. I've seen that, but they don't turn it on a lot because they want to use the usual um, table. But anyway, I digress. This is the perfect set for me for a drop shot.
A couple more comments here, G, if you want to take them now or you want to move
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Let's take them.
All right, I'm going to go back here to. I don't know if you saw Crap Master Journey, Joe's comment that I put it up there while you were talking. I'll display that before we move on. He says that he's used a drop toss style successfully on this style of
They
play.
work very well. They work very well. Most, because it's like straight out in a short table. I love doing the drop toss on these tables.
Yep. All right. So here's a question. It comes from Cadillac Jack.
Hmm.
Let's see here. Um, question. If
Yes,
casinos has both stadium and regular, do you prefer the stadium?
yes, yes. I go straight to it because I'm telling you, when Yo 11 and myself and Jay and the first thing we did was we went straight and we got our seats so that we can sit because they get filled up. The reason why I go straight to it is because I don't worry about all the crap, the noise, and all that stuff. And let's pause a little bit. People say they don't like it because there's no camaraderie. It's not like hey, emotional and real action like the craps table. We were louder than the skeletons that were sitting at the craps table losing money. Okay, we were standing next to each other and come on, yo, what you got? What you got? He's like, I got aces. What do you got? I'm like, I got $25 on them. I got lots of money. We were loud. We were so loud that people were standing waiting for one of us to leave so that they can take our place. And when I left because we had to turn around and go home, there were three people waiting to sit and use that. And there were craps tables that were wide open, but they didn't want to play them. So yes, yes, if there's this type of table in the casino, that's what I go
Well,
play.
the second part of Jack's question, I put it up there when you said let's pause for a second, was do you feel the stadium gives you a greater advantage?
Yes,
Okay.
let me tell you why. The advantage is that I don't have a lot of the noise. Number one, from people buying in the middle of the roll, etc., etc., etc. That we talked. The other one is that as a dice influencer, I am given new parameters to to play. I'm given a shorter table, a narrower edge. The table is narrow, and I can, unlike the roll to win where they tell you, no, you can't do this, you can't extend your hand, you gotta be here and stuff like that. I can stand here and extend my arm as much as I want. To me, to me, those are parameters that I can use to my advantage. So any type of table that you can touch the dice, whether it's roll to win, whether it's um, a regular craps table or a stadium craps, but it has different parameters. As a dice influencer, take those parameters and see if you can try and take advantage. Now, is the advantage guaranteed? No, nothing is guaranteed in this game. This is at the end of the day gambling, right? There's no guaranteed advantage, but we try and influence the dice to gain a certain advantage, even if it's slight advantage. Um, no,
Does your
I'm,
does your
I'm reading
stadium
Dice
craps have a
Fusion.
plexiglass bar in the front where you're
No,
shooting that limits your arm motion? Mine does.
right, right. I've seen some. What he's talking about a box. North Carolina, Murphy, had a plexiglass box that sat right here. It was about this high and this deep. And you couldn't do like the flea flicker that I showed you real low. all the tosses were higher. So I would sit there and do my drop toss. I did my drop toss. And we talked about that, on some of our videos on the long rolls on that table with the drop shot. So in Cherokee, Harris Cherokee, there is nothing here. It's just these two bars. That's it. So there's no plexiglass limiting me.
Okay. Jen agrees with you about the playing the stadium craps is a blast.
Yeah, her, and Mark the point. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jen. We went to Boomtown. We stayed there and we played and we had fun, all three of us. Um, Jeff, me, you, and we took Mr. Cowboy Hat himself there one time. He won't admit it, but um,
Well,
what I
Mr.
was
White
thinking,
Belt for Life says, why are stadium craps being phased out? And I do know that in some casinos, and they've taken them out, and a couple in Atlantic City have put them in. They didn't last very long. They took them out. What's your thoughts on that?
um, I don't know. I think that they're realizing that some people may have taken full advantage of it, and maybe they realize that they lost some of their edge by um, playing mind games with the eyes, with bringing in money in the middle of the roll and all that stuff. You gotta remember, the casinos don't like to. I'm sorry, you loved every minute of it, Ed. The
I
casinos,
don't know.
while they
We
don't
weren't
want
there
to
that long.
admit it, the casinos, while they don't want to admit it, if they see a dice setter and they're doing good, they will do whatever they can to play mind games, because at the end of the day, they don't like to lose money. They don't like to lose money. So a lot of the games they play is bring money in the middle of the roll and stuff like that. It's like that thing's been sitting there forever. As soon as you start having a long roll, all of a sudden they want to count the chips, they want to stack the chips and all that stuff. And let's not talk about the coolers and the people coming in and buying in and stuff like that. So this type of play has taken away all that. So they feel like, I think they feel like it's taken some of the advantage, and they're phasing it out. It's not because they're not being played. Everywhere I've gone, these tables are full. Period. You cannot sit. You have to go
Not.
in early
Yeah.
and reserve a seat.
Yeah, the issue, I guess, in the Northeast corridor is that nobody is playing them. They brought them in, it ruined the game. The players want to have the action of the dice in their hand, want a real table with real chips and that kind of thing. And those tables set basically empty with just a few players that are on it. Typically, they were younger generation players. Let's move on with this one here. Dan says, since the table is shorter, why not use a part toss?
You can, you can, and I um, I talked about it. You can. You have to do a straight out part toss. So yes, of course you can do it from here like this, right? But you can also stretch your hand and do it from the limiter. My limiter is my arm motion. This is as much as I can stretch. So, and again, I'm not setting the dice or anything in a certain set. I'm just, so you can do it like this, you know. So if that's the type of they're moving the stadium craft table in Cherokee to the back by Ruth Chris restaurant by the back tables now. Huh, interesting. I'd love to know why, if you know why. I know you have insights. You talk to people over there, Mr. Yo. Um, maybe they'll have less people and we can get on it more. Anyway, the part toss will definitely work. And remember, the part toss usually is, on the side to side, but you can also toss it from straight out. Uh, we've talked about it before. Mohegan Sun and CT got rid of roll to win because every other day there were huge payouts due to extremely large. I think he says rolls. Yes, Yes, I can tell you, I've seen long rolls on the roll to win. I've had long rolls on the roll to win. The one in Boomtown had the bonus bet. If you get, I don't know, 18, you get your money back. If you get 24, you get two times. 30, you get three times. 42, you get four times, and 50 above, you get some like 10 times or 100 times or something like that. And I've hit 50 twice. I've had and a friend of mine from North Carolina has hit it three times above 50, to a point to where as soon as he walked up, they would tell him, you can't do this before we even put our money in the table. um, you know, they sweat the money in Boomtown. But yeah, I hate it. I can't find them anymore. I have not seen a roll to win table in years. Yeah, I agree, Jen. I agree. It's a combination. It's a combination.
Um,
Um, Go ahead.
Let's let me go. Let me continue with a couple questions here. There's a couple of repeat questions coming in. Let me just tell the folks that are watching. The show is kind of different tonight because of technical difficulties we had in the beginning. But if you put in a question in, please premise it with a capital Q. Dustin has asked this question a couple of times. So what is the average rolls per hour? So if you're putting questions in there, I'm going to go back and catch a couple. I'm trying to keep them on topic with what G's talking about. But I would assume it's a lot more rolls per hour. I would assume.
So
You know what assuming does?
so I've played them to where there's a 10-second timer, and then it locks the screen. You can't make a bet. Or the one in Cherokee, the dealer, because you're the shooter, he or she will kind of like say, "Go ahead, make your bets," and then when you're done, they'll look because they can see if other people are still making the bets, and they'll say, "Hurry up, we're locking it up," and then they lock it. But it's usually 10 to 12 seconds per roll. So um, and then you have the actual roll, and they have to verify. So you add that, and it's no different. I think it goes faster than a regular table. That's the other reason why I like it, because the dice comes to me a lot faster because there's a
Well,
rhythm I can get
what
into.
what I have
Regular
noticed
table,
before we get to James's comment here, I'll leave this on the screen momentarily. What I've noticed is that the one dealer, the only dealer that's at the table, is controlling that timer. I noticed that in Biloxi, and I noticed that in Vegas, and I noticed it here on the East Coast. So the person has the ability to start and stop the timer. I think Dustin, and it's okay to ask the question twice, Dustin. It's all right. Is Obviously you're getting more rolls per hour. So let's go ahead and
yes.
take what James says here. The casino spends millions on the game studies. Any discovery that there is a player edge, they're going to pull the game.
Yes, yes, I agree with him on that part. But a lot of the study, they don't know until after the fact. So the casinos will study the game and see if there's a chance for it to be profitable or not before it goes on their casino floor. Any game, any table game, any slot machine, it doesn't matter. They will look at it because they want to see if it has a chance to make them money or not. Once that particular type of game or machine is on the floor, they leave it there for a certain period of time, and then they do the study. Not only that, but usually the casinos, if they are a, um, a branch, or if they have multiple casinos all over the country, they will put those in a lower traffic area, like Tunica or Biloxi or something like that, um, in order to do the study there. Because if they realize it is an advantage, it's not going to take them to the cleaners like if they put it in Vegas. So there's all kinds of stuff. I could spend session talking about how they do that and why, because I've actually um, worked on that years ago in one of my consulting bids for a chain. So I can talk about all that for hours and hours, which you're
On
not gonna
another
like
show.
me to do that, Jeff, because you're my timekeeper,
Yep.
and I like it.
Caveman here says, is your betting progression the same as when you play regular craps, or do
Yes,
you bet the same way?
yes, yes, yes. When I walk up to the craps table, I go 60. I go 60, 640 across because it's just me. And again, it's just me and the stick. I don't care about anybody else, and it doesn't matter what's happening. So a lot of times I go in 640 across for 5 rolls, go down. I don't have to wait until like in the morning where nobody else comes in at the table. Nobody else is going to come in at the table. I've said it really fast, so I'm going to slow down and repeat this because it's not a full table and the dealers are paying out and all that, and there's a delay. The dice comes to me a lot faster. There's a rhythm. I can get into a rhythm. Um, when Yo went on a tear 2 weeks ago, um, he had a people were betting small and quick, and the dice would come to him. I don't know why they didn't do it for me for whatever reason, but the dice were coming to him quick. He went on a rhythm. It was like he would just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over. And I was loving it. I wasn't even touching the dice, and I was making money because I was betting on him. And then when you want to regress, you hit a button. You just hit a button, and all bets are off. You don't have to go like this to the dealer and turn my bets off and make a scene. You just hit a button, boom, and then you can just relax. Your bets are no longer in play
Well,
if you see something happen.
I don't want to sound like I'm preferential, but I tend to agree with what Ed says here that thank God there are no roll to win tables left in Mississippi, and the only one is those stupid stadium craps in Biloxi. But that casino has no regular tables. So in Mississippi, or I should say Mississippi and Biloxi, the only casino that has that as last time that I was there in May was Boomtown, and they don't have regular craps tables anyway. And I
Yeah,
could see.
but you and Ed, I mean, especially Ed, is a different type of player than I am. Ed relishes in the camaraderie of people standing at the table and the dealers and stuff like that, which you could have on a stadium craps. Trust me, when Yo hit the aces and I had that $25 on it and I was on my way out, I walked all the way up to him and high fived him. He met me halfway. You could do the same thing. If Ed was rolling, I could go over there and hump his leg. He wouldn't care, right?
We've already talked about you humping legs. Come back into frame,
Yeah,
G, because
yeah.
you're talking and nobody can see you. Come back
Oh,
into yeah,
I'm moving around. Where am I?
yeah.
Oh,
That's good
I'm
right
right
there.
here.
That's good right there.
I keep going to the other way. I don't know why.
That's all right.
Yeah, thanks for keeping me,
Boy, trying to keep you
in
straight
point.
is like I don't know what.
Yes, yeah, it's a
Let's see.
full-time
Let's see if I
job.
got another question before we move on, G. We hit that one. Average per rolls. Mr. Whitebelt's full of questions tonight. Does the height and landing zone of your drop shot toss change between the hard table and a stadium craps?
Of course, you got to think about it. Um, you're going from a 12-footer or a 14-footer to maybe an 8 or a 7-footer. So you don't want it to be as high or as hard because then it'll hit the back. It'll just go all over the place. You do want to change it, but it's a to me that's why I I try and change my mechanics and not do anything from here because it may confuses my memory bank, and the older I get, the more confused I can be. And then I did that. I did that one time when the Georgia crew was here, and I was showing them how to throw the drop shot. Yo was standing next to me, and I hit it, and it went over the over the divider all the way to the back, and I'm like, sorry guys, muscle memory. So what the reason why I come like this because that changes the toss for me completely. It's a different mechanic. So yes, you don't want to go all the way up high. You want to change it up a little bit, but that's a good thing. That's a good thing because it doesn't confuse you when you go to the regular table. it's a different mechanic that you can get used to. This is why I do left right from different places, because then it doesn't confuse me with my mechanics when I'm shooting on a regular table. I hope that makes sense.
It does. I think you said that you mentioned that you had another point you wanted to make. We've been through the questions so far that we've had up till now, and I'll ask the fine folks that are watching again if they could, when you put a question, and please put a capital Q with a semicolon, and I will be able to catch that,
Yeah.
and actually display that a lot easier, and to find the question if I lose it, I can go back and search for that as
Yeah,
well.
no, the last point I wanted to make is that the fact that you're standing here with the display screen right next to you where you're making your bets, and there's nobody else except the people that are sitting down, to me, again, it mimics being on the real craps table early in the morning by myself. It's just me, the stick person or the dealer, and I'm throwing, and being able to get the dice really fast for me. All that is noise. In Cherokee, they put a bubble craps or a blackjack table or whatever right behind where you stand. They do that. Now, look, the casinos don't do anything by accident. Everybody does something in the casino for a reason. That blackjack table would say out loud the cards, and I can't tell you how many times it says 257, 617 while I'm throwing. And even Yo was telling me, he's like, this thing was so loud, and I can't tell you how many times it said the number seven. Now, some people doesn't bother. Me, I learned to kind of like, it's just noise. But the other thing that they do is that if you're, really concentrating, somebody came in and plugged in one of those scooters. There was nobody on it, and it started beeping really, really loud as you were shooting. And immediately I turned to see what it is, and it was nothing. And then I tossed and I seven. Now, did it cause the seven? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It did distract me though. So there are still distractions, but there are a lot less distractions than a real craft table, which for me it gives me an advantage. So that was the point that I wanted to make, is that when I get on one of these, I feel like it's just me, myself, and I. It's just a feel. It's a feeling, right? Other people may disagree with me, but it's just an opinion. It's just me and my feelings.
All right. I'm going to ask the fine folks, if you have a question, now is the time to ask. Please, as you see, the Q with a semicolon, and we will be taking a few more questions tonight. So if you have a question, if you have any questions for G after the show, you can reach him here at this email. He answers all emails except for mine. It's the original gargoyle at gmail.com. Not the, but just original gargoyle at gmail.com. And
Yeah.
over the past several shows, over the past several months, we've had several comments that have come in after the show. So if you're rewatching this on the replay, put a comment in the actual replay. And both G and I typically say G will answer that because I don't typically know the answer, but he does get back to you almost every single time, unless I put a comment in there. Then he
Yeah.
ignores me.
and
Yeah,
and
he
I've
just
had
admitted it.
I've had people that wanted to have conversation. We've emailed. I've had conversations with them on the phone. Some that I'm still having conversations with. Um, it's all good. It's just, we're having fun helping each other, and I don't mind giving my opinion and advice. And it's free advice. You're not paying anything for it, and if you don't like it, you just throw it away. Um, I was gonna say, oh, if anybody watching live right now, if there's a certain toss you want me to try and show you how it's done here, other than the three that I showed that were my preferred, just put it in the chat, and I'll gladly you know demo it.
All right, I'm going to put this up here only because he's new to the show, and I don't know how much he's going to be able to read it. I'll probably have to read it for you. But Birdies and Aces says here in Bristol, Virginia, we only have one crapless table and two craps tables. Crapless is always open. Traditional opens up on the evenings. Minimums are 15. Tonight's show is about the stadium craps, but thank you for that bit of information.
Yeah, you're one lucky
Birdies and
guy.
Aces.
I love going to a crapless table.
Yep. All right. So, anybody with questions, please let's go ahead and pop them in there now. We do have some giveaways to go. I know you're going to not believe this, but we're 55 minutes into the show and we've been talking ahead of time. I did have somebody that came in late, G, and I'm going to switch back over to this screen. I'm going to ask you to do this just for edification. Because I might have to do something different with this video. I'm going to go here. Can you talk about those parameters again? The distance from this, where you've got your ruler laid out there. We've got more people watching
Yes.
now than we did at the very beginning.
Yes. So again, from end to end, it's 8 feet. I have a laser measurer and we measured it. And from here, it's about about 3 feet, maybe 3.5 feet. It's not very wide. It's very slim. Um, they do have these strips that are under the layout, so that you don't roll the dice. You don't slide the dice, because whether people do it or not is beside the point. They will put those as a protective measure, and they are open. So the dealer will get the dice like this, and they'll give it to you like this. They'll bring it like that, and they'll zigzag it to you,
Right.
just like that. So, and the reason why I talked about it is because, again, for those who showed up late, I like to get on my tiptoes and lean over. So instead of starting from here, I cut 1.5 feet almost and start from here, whether it's with the flea flicker, or whether it's with the drop shot, or whether it's with the rolling toss. I take advantage, because they're not going to yell at me and saying you're leaning too much over, because they don't care. It's not that much for them. The center is right here, and if you're tall enough and your arms are long enough to where you can reach the center, they may say something. But for me, even Yo has long arms. He doesn't reach the center. So we've never had a problem with them saying don't do that. But I like the fact that it cuts 1.5 feet, because now I only have this much distance between here and the back wall.
Right. All right. A couple questions just came in while we were doing that. G, let me key one of them up. Kevin from Crooked River Craps says, Low Yuri sees lots of women at the table use this with success. I don't know whether we want to single out women, but it says here that a low Yuri toss has success. Does that make sense to you, G?
Yeah, the Yuri grip is pretty much this right here, right? So if you do this, then yeah, it's a low Yuri grip and toss. It's a par, but with the edges. Now, I have tried the Dice Magic toss, and the only time it worked is when I went from corner to corner. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So the only time it worked is when it didn't work from straight out. I PSO'd, PPSO'd, but when I went like this, I had a better roll. But I don't do it much, because the dice, you have to throw the dice up high, and the mechanics are the same for the regular table. So sometimes I forget and I throw it high and it hits the plexiglass, and so I stay away from it. I am working on modifying it to be from here. And so far I'm having challenges because if you remember the um, the dice magic toss, you grip it and you go like this. So going like this from here is kind of a challenge. I'm gonna go like that. Where's my zoom cam? There it is, right
Yeah.
here. So going like this right
Hold
here
that
is,
thought right there, G. Hold on, I got you're ahead of me. We did have a question asked about the dice magic.
yeah,
Go ahead. I have another question
yeah.
queued up too. Go
So
ahead.
so doing it like this and like that is kind of a challenge for me, but I'll keep working on it. At some point, I'll be able to modify it. But from here, I forget, and it just goes all over the place sometimes.
Okay. Got a question here. Why do you have more success with the drop shot toss than any other toss on a stadium craps table? I've actually seen you actually could apply to a real table, but today we are talking about stadium craps table, not any other type
It's
of table in the casino.
it's for that particular tables that, like Cherokee, I don't think have very bouncy table, and the fact that the dice land kind of flat right here or at an angle and barely hit the wall, I think is where the success is. Um, I don't think they saw that, Jeff. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Let me switch back over. I was queuing up another question. You got out of frame too. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I think the fact that the dice when a drop shot lays flat and it deadens the bounce, on a nice um, neutral table or hard table is what myself, even Craftsmaster Journey experience. Remember, you can also angle your drop shot, so you can start with the dice leaning forward or leaning backward, so they fly like this in the air and then land. You can play around with the angle of the dice. They don't always have to be flat. I like them flat. It's made for the dice to be flat, but you can play around. If they're scattering all over the place, that means in the air somehow they're moving either back or forward. So if you can figure out if they're moving backwards, you can angle them from the start. So when in the air they move backward, they land flat. So you're duct taping your toss. You're working on your mechanics, in real time. If you need to move them backwards and they move forward in the air, then they will land flat. You got to see what your toss is doing. But anyway, that's why I like the
All
drop
right.
shot.
Come back into frame on the other end of the table there, and let's take this question from. Oops, sorry, that just cleared, didn't it? Daggone it. Let me back up. Sorry, Scott. Put that back up there. Sorry. Live production. Question: I've always wondered if fitting a piece of plexiglass would create a similar surface, and if so, where would I put the speed bumps and how? We just got one of these at our local casino. I guess he's talking about his home table. How would he set that up?
Right, right. So the plexiglass was back here at the back wall,
Oops, let
so
me get
that
over
the
there. Hold
dice.
on. Hold on, G. Hold on.
Yeah,
There you
sorry.
go.
Yeah, the plexiglass was back here at the back wall, so that the dice doesn't fly over. If you're talking about the roll to win table, I believe I've showed a video to where I bought the thick plexiglass and I put it down, and I showed which toss would work. Um, these right here are just to make sure that you don't slide the dice. If you want to put them as a benchmark, you can. This is usually a foot and a half away, that first one. Um, you don't need to worry about the second one, but the first one, and it is kind of longer, so it's kind of like uh, kind of like this, I believe, where the dice comes to you, and I've seen them where they were like that. So, um, but I use it as a marker to where I figured if I can set the dice here and toss it, they're not going to say anything because maybe they're using this as a marker for how far I can move forward. I haven't tried doing this. Plus, I don't think I can gain that much advantage. As a matter of fact, I think it will hurt if I start tossing from here. I can probably do three, and then all of a sudden I will pull a muscle. So I'm safe doing it right here, and this is what I recommend. If you're gonna try these types of shots, find the line and do it like right before. This is my recommendation. The plexiglass was just all the way at the end to stop the dice from going over. Go Yuri and just touch the wall. If you can get away with it in Planet Hollywood, the pit manager told me to hit the alligator higher just because I had many long rolls. They will do that. They'll do that. I've had somebody to tell me that I need to hit the alligator higher, and I asked him how high. Where do you want me to hit him? And he looked at me. I'm like, you tell me. I'll hit him wherever you want me to. And he's like, you can't hit him where you want to. And I said, then what are we talking about? It's not like I'm doing it on purpose, but some when you start having long rolls, the casino come up with their own rules. Some of them have their own rules of where the center of the table is, and they tell you hit the center. They don't consider this as part of being the back wall. They say hit the back wall, and you're hitting it, and they're like, this is not the back wall. This is the corner. You need to hit it here. Some will say you need to go up here. So what you'll see is that as soon as you start getting on a long roll, some casinos that sweat the money will start coming up, making up their own rules. You just have to be nice and say, okay, sir, what do you want me to do? You know? And and at any given point, if all of a sudden it doesn't work well for you, or if you don't think it's going to work well for you, turn your bets off and walk away. Take your money.
Okay, G, let's call last call for questions. If I missed a question, it's probably because
What?
you may not have premised it with a cue, but repeat and ask the question. We've got G's giveaway coming up, and we've got to talk about what's coming up on the next So You Think You Know Craps coming up in a couple weeks. But, G, I also don't want to forget something that was mentioned earlier in the chat. We've got the Craps for the Cure coming up this week,
Yes.
this weekend
Yes.
in Las Vegas. It'll be held at both Casino Quest and at Palace Station. And I know that you have something you want to do about that. I don't know if you still have set up what we talked about the other day. I know you've donated
Yes.
a couple items we're to look at, but let's go ahead and call for final questions on this topic, and then we'll get to the Craps for the Cure information. Craps Master Journey, Joe's going to be there. He did put that in the chat. I know Ed from Road to Wind's going to be there. I'm going to be there. John, Leon from Great Craps. I'm trying to think. There's a couple more YouTubers that are going to be there. For some reason, Craig from Old Bay Craps. David, I think Alex will both be there from Casino Quest. If I'm forgetting somebody, it's because I'm going from my memory, which is old. Anyway, let's go with this question here from Larry. If you could play craps with an animal, what animal? Larry, you got me. I didn't read the question.
What animal?
I think what I was doing was trying to put this one up here from James Newberry. Are the casinos watching or observing dice influencing on YouTube? James, I'm not laughing at your question here. I pushed the button and somehow the next chat
That's
came
all right.
up. The animals.
will-
We're not talking about animals. Let's go ahead and address
I'll
James's
answer
question.
both. I'll answer both. I think maybe they are. They're not dumb, okay? People that try to hide, who they are and stuff like that, they're not dumb. I think the casinos don't care,
Oops.
to be honest with you. I don't think they care if you're a YouTube influencer. Now, they don't want you to video pictures and stuff like that without permission, but I've walked up there with my original Gargoil T-shirt or even my jacket, and some of the dealers may care, some of the dealers may don't. To me, I don't care. It's if they ask me to leave for whatever reason or stop doing something, I'll ask them, okay, what's the problem? But other than that, yeah, I don't care. Now, I will answer what type of animal. I can tell you it's not a cat, because all cats want to do is chase the dice. So you're not going to have a roll. And I know that because of my cats that come up here, and every time I try to toss the dice, I don't know what the roll is because the dice are gone. Um, my preferred animal would be a an owl, because an owl would sit there and just watch and watch and watch like an owl.
Oh
And we
my
have
goodness.
lots of owls. You know, the pit boss is an owl. It's not an eagle. It's an owl. Sorry, God Complex. I just called him an owl. But yeah, I would say an owl. Never
All
been
right.
noticed like his nest.
I do want to mention Jen and Joe both mentioned that I did leave out Ryan from Mark the Point, good friend of mine, and also Brian from Holy Roller Craps channel will also be there. So there's several YouTubers that'll be there. Come out and support it. There is a ticket that's available that you can get in. I do not know the specifics. I have not been able to. I'm in a chat group with those folks. Most of the time they're talking about other things than the event here lately. But I do know that this coming weekend. Set up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the date of the date of the event, and the event opens up 10 o'clock. I believe it's 10. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jen, because Ed said 9, but it opens up with Ed from Roll to Win, and I believe somebody said 10 ton too on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock Vegas time, which would be 1 o'clock here on the East Coast.
Yep. And I
So
believe Heavy and I will close it out in a 2 hour craps chat kind of a podcast on
Saturday
Sunday.
or Sunday.
Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, we're closing
I
it
thought
out
I saw
before.
you on the agenda some other time for the 2 hour block, but the craps chat was supposed to be the whole gang there on Sunday. Well, I don't know. They could have changed it up, G. Like I said, I hadn't had time to watch. For those of you that know, I've been doing other things during the daytime,
So
and just haven't been able to get there.
yeah, so to give people a chance to to add more questions, do you want to change the center layout so that we can talk about what's coming up in 2 weeks?
I'm not sure what you mean by center layout, but
Yeah, that screen. So
okay.
in 2 weeks, we're going to do So You Think You Know Craps, and we're going to talk about the center bets. Some people call them circus bets. So I'm going to talk about what they are, what I believe you should play and you shouldn't play based on my opinions, and how I play them with combinations. Some don't make sense, others do. And so I'm going to give my opinions on, how to play them, when to play them, and, when you're noticing something on the at the table. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the center bets. People call them circus bets, whatever, but this area
And
right here.
that is the 20th. Yes, that's the 23rd of September. 2 weeks from tonight.
Right. Now, if you want to do a promo commercial and let me go bring what we're going to be auctioning off at the Crafts for the Cure. They're sitting right there. I just got to go get them.
Yeah, you go ahead and do that. Yeah, I will. So look, guys, Ed answered here. He said that would be wrong about 10 ton. I can't remember who said that. I thought I read that in a chat somewhere, but I know that Ed was scheduled to be there with John at the session that's it's called Bet on Me or Bet on Craps. I think it's called Bet on Me. And you can go to crapsforthecure.com and read all about it. It'll tell you the whole schedule. I should have probably had that up here already, but you can do that. And most of the people that I know that are coming, the YouTubers, a couple people that are coming in just for the event, come in later on Saturday, but most of the YouTubers are arriving Thursday and Friday, and then the event starts on Saturday morning, and it will start at a Casino Quest, and I don't have the address of Casino Quest. You guys could probably Google that and find that out. So in any event, let me switch back over so G can show you what he's got up for auction, and I'm going to try to pull up this website once he gets done talking.
Yeah, so they are up on Casino Gaming TV's website, Crafts for the Cure. And a couple years ago, I auctioned off one layout. It was, I forgot, but it was one layout. This year, we're going to do it differently. There are going to be 3, and the winner will choose which one they want. And I can't believe I'm doing this, but here goes because it's like giving away one of my children. The first one, I believe it's the only one in existence today. I have not seen another one, and it is the used layout from the old Frontier Casino. It is not a brand
Oh
new
wow,
layout.
sweet.
So it still smells dingy, but if we open it up, you can see the logo coming up, the Frontier Hotel. I believe, and by the way, if you don't think this is authentic, Southwestern layout, Reno, Nevada, and it has the dates and all that stuff. Um, I think it's got cigarette burns and stuff like that. So this is used, but I believe so far I've been doing mine, and everyone knows I do my research. I believe this is the only one in existence. I have not found another one because if there was another one, it would have been I would have bought it. It would have been in my collection. So this is the first one that you can get. The other two, all right, baby, come up here. I'll roll you later. I gotta be careful. The other two are brand new. The first one is a crapless from the Mirage. Now, this layout, it's brand new, uncut, and it's a crapless. This layout was done in 2020, right after COVID. And to commemorate, whatever the word is, to
Just keep
commemorate
keep going.
to commemorate the casino coming back from COVID, they had the special logo. This is the old Mirage palm trees logo. So they have the Mirage Las Vegas with the palm trees. Um, they only did a few of these, and then they took them off, and then they put the next ones, and then of course, the Mirage closed down. So, but this is, crapless both ways. So this is one of the ones that I'm offering. The other one, and again, I don't know how many of these exist. Um, Information is fuzzy, but this one, the casino that no longer exists anymore. I gotta unwrap it. I should have had it unwrapped. I apologize. Um, I should have had this one ready. So this is still brand new, and it's not a fake. It has just like the Mirage, it has the date, the dealer time, and the order number and all that stuff printed right on them. Um, this one, and I can't believe I'm putting this one for auction.
Aladdin.
That's the old Aladdin that is now with the Planet Hollywood.
Wow.
So
Interesting.
w-
Very interesting.
now there's a minimum. I asked that for that to be a minimum. There's a minimum that the auction can get to. You just buy the raffles. John knows how all that works. Um, but you buy raffles, and there's a minimum amount that the raffles have to get to, so that these things will be auctioned off. I'm sorry, one of them will be auctioned off, not all three. Um,
Right. Yeah, they get the choice.
yeah, they get a choice.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Yep. I'm going to switch over. Jen says the Aladdin one looks very nice. I'm going to
This
switch
is
over to.
yeah. I can't believe when I told my wife that I may be doing this. She said, "Do I need to take you to the hospital and get you checked out?" I said, "It's for charity." She says, "I still need to get you to the hospital and get you checked out because she one time she tried to do something with this layout, and I told her we will divorce before you do whatever you're trying to do with the layout.
All right. So
So
here's the information. It is this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I guess it's really Saturday and Sunday, being held at Casino Quest in Las Vegas. And I think I think Mark put it on there. It's off of Sahara. Near the Denny's or something or other. But the host casino is Palace Station. You can get event tickets for sale there. And here's the schedule that I talked about. It opens up at 10 o'clock with John and Lori. And Lori is the representative from the Veterans Moving On. I'll scroll down here to the bottom on this right-hand side, the page here. You can see, I'll highlight it here. This is the group. It is a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organization. And you can find out all of their information here about the group as well. But the schedule starts out with 10 to 11, Coffee and Craps with John and Lori. Then Ed with a session called Bet on Me. And then you've got David from CQ, Craps Home Dealing. The 1 o'clock session is still to be determined. 2 o'clock, John and the team, Craps Secret Sauce. Then they have an afternoon session with the coach, Bo Parker, on Bet on Me, similar to what Ed did in the morning. And 5 o'clock, it's David and John with the Bridge Live Workshop. And then at 6 o'clock, it's to be announced, the session to be over with by 7. And then on Sunday, they start again at 10 o'clock with John with Coffee and Craps. Brian from Holy Roller and Ryan from Mark the Point will be doing cruising and craps. We got Garrison coming in with the 100% winning system at 12. We've got Nick coming in from Ellis Island, who was there last year. Craps players and the 2025 Vegas experience. 2 o'clock, Heavy and Gargoyle at 2 o'clock Vegas time. This is all Vegas time. It's Power Craps and Heavy Hitters with G and Heavy. Then the 4 o'clock is to be announced because they see that's a 2-hour block there. Bet on Me. 5 o'clock, it's the full Craps for the Cure 2025 crew, a Craps Chat live session, season 4 kickoff of that show, which of course I hosted the first. I think it was really 3 seasons, but they did a season, in the year. We did the whole season, Diley and I did. But either way, Craps for the Cure is coming back for season 4 kickoff. And then closing ceremonies and everything will be done at 6:30 on Sunday there at CQ. At the top up here, if you want to be able just to help with the expenses on the dog, you can click the dog thing, and you can actually buy these, and you can donate the things that the dog will need. The service dog that's being trained. Pearson is the name of the dog. It is named after Ed's son. This dog, but that they're giving away and training currently. Beautiful dog there. You can see the dog on the left here. My mouse is probably doing wrong. That's Moochie, the previous dog that was named after, as you know, our good friend. You got it. And then over here on the right side, we've got the Pearson dog over there. You can donate and buy dog food and cooling vests and toys and harnesses and flea and tick stuff that they may need. And then the raffles that G was talking about. If you go to that donate there's only 6 raffles that are up here. G's raffle is right here. You just click on it and you can click the enter to win there and buy a ticket. And as you see here, he's talking about the raffles that he's going to be giving away. So that's the website. It is the Craps for the Cure. Let me punch that out here, and I'll put it in the chat right now in case you want to try to go over and see that. And it is this coming weekend, the 5th year of this event, 4th year, whichever it is. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 years. So let's just keep that in mind. It is September 13th, 14th, this coming weekend. In Vegas, and there's several people that are riding out there or flying out there or getting there somehow to participate. There you have it. Gee.
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Do you have your pencil and paper down there? Because we're going to give away the 5 entries, and then we've got a question here from Jen that she asked, and I want to wrap up tonight's session with a question about this stadium craps with what Jen has asked a question. So if you have your pen and paper ready.
I got my Gargoil pad standing right here, ready to go.
I'm hoping that I hope I have this lined up right because I don't know if I do. Let's see.
So we're going to draw 5 names to add to the jackets. That's the first drawing, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, so here we go. You can still get in if you'd like. on this 5 entries, but we're going to draw 5 entries to be given away in December, the December show, the big show.
So,
Here we go. Five
so did you give them? Did you
qualified
give them
entries.
with the word? Did you give them
Yeah,
the
they already
word
got it.
earlier?
They're already in there. Yeah, it is. It's Win with G. I
Oh.
put that up there a long time ago, G. Yep.
Oh,
Win with
yeah.
G. All one word. WINWITH and a G. Win with G. No spaces. All one word. And we're going to go with that. Here we go. 3, 2, and 1. Amy G. She qualified once before, so Amy is a qualifier. Let's see if I push this button. I can't remember how I did this last time because I screwed it up. Let's get rid of that. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Larry, Airborne Aces. Larry, the next one there, G.
Yes, sir.
Let's go 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Chris Dice Dejan, and Chris is not going to be there this year for the Craps for the Cure. He has a special event coming up weeks after this event. So we wish him and girlfriend Dejan, fiance Dejan, who will soon become wife Dejan. That's a special event. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Yep. Caveman 3. That's Kevin. I think that's Kevin. Caveman 369. He is number 4. And then our 5th winner for today, and we do still have that. What are we giving away? The mat and the fleece. What are we giving away second tonight, Jay?
The fleece. The fleece.
Yep, all right. The fleece. All right. 3, 2, 1. Anthony, K9 Popo Comp. He's K9 Comp on YouTube, but we here in the Atlantic City group call him Popo for some reason. Clay started that reason that whole Popo stuff. I'll get set up for the next giveaway, G. Let's go ahead and take Jen's question if I can merge back over here. I don't know if I actually pinned it up. Let me see if I did. Yes, I did. Here we go. Last question of the night or comment, and you can finish out while I set everything else up there. I would be interested in hearing G's come-out game with the Stadium Craps. Is it different? How does it vary different from your come-out game normally?
So, to get to the world bet and do all that, you got to go through a whole bunch of screens. So, what I usually do is I play the horn bets. You know, I put 10, 10, 10, 10, or sometimes quarters if I'm hitting them on the come out, depending on what my toss is doing. I can tell you, last time we were there, we were seeing a lot of horn numbers. I mean, the 12s, the 2s. On one of my rolls, I hit every number except the 6 and 8. I could not get a 6 or an 8. I hit a 12 3 times. I hit the 2 4 times. I know Yo 11 hit the 2 several times because of the toss. And I'm going to confess, I broke my sacred rule. Now, this is mine. I broke my sacred rule. You know what I'm about to say. I changed my dice set to hit the 6, and I 7'd out immediately. Now, that doesn't mean that if you change your dice set, you're going to 7 out. But for me, if I change my dice set, and I know not to do it, and I had to apologize, I went and apologized for every single person sitting down and says, my bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. But because I couldn't hit a 6 or an 8 to get the small or the tall. And Yo 11 looked at me, and he's like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, no, sir, I did it. Oops. So, but yeah, I do a come out game. And any type of, in craps, if you have a come out game, you figure out how to do it. Doesn't matter what table you're sitting on.
Nope. Oh, I mean, most people just don't play the come out game. I know. And anyway, I have a come out game that people is kind of crazy, and that I am wasting some money. People waste money on the ATS, they waste money on the fire bet or repeaters. But we did have a comment earlier talking about an ATS bet, which this is not the show for that. Maybe we'll talk about that coming up in 2 weeks. Somebody wanted to know, made a comment, and I'll put it up here, G's, just so you can reference that for 2 weeks from tonight before the show's over with. But we did have that. But anyway, talk about your come out. Actually, go ahead, G.
Yeah, I did not have a come out game until I met Ed. Ed taught me how to bet the world bet. Literally. I mean, he's like, G, the way you're tossing, you should play the come out game, the world bet, as long as you don't knock yourself off the ATS, because I like to play the ATS. Um, so I did not have a come out game before. My only come out game is not to 7 out, so that I won't hit I won't lose the ATS. And he's like, hey, I want to teach you how to play a world bet with an ace deuce. So Ed, I will always thank you for that. So and I've only known Ed for a few years. So
Question, going back to your
all 12
layouts. Are they all 12-foot layouts?
the crap list, no. I think the crap list is 14 footer. The other ones, they're made for a 12-foot table, but uncut they are much larger. So
Okay.
the Aladdin and the Frontier is cut, of course. So, but but if whoever gets it, do not put it on your table and play dice on it, please, please, please. I beg you, do not do that. As a matter of fact, none of
Right.
these should be put on a layout to play dice with, please. But the Aladdin is a 12-foot, definitely. The Mirage is a 14 footer.
All right. Mark, it'll be broadcast on the Casino Quest YouTube channel and also on Casino Gaming TV, CGTV YouTube channel, and on Casino Quest YouTube channel live, the 10 hours both days. If that's what you want to know, who was going to broadcast that. All right. I do have the password in the system for the fleece jacket, and I think that's our fleece blanket. I think that's what G's kind of like rolling out here now. I probably should switch screens. G, give me a second to get over to your other screen here so you can actually show that a little better. Come on, work with me here. Thank you. Here we go. That's the fleece. That's what we're going to be giving away here in a second. While G's straightening that out, 2 weeks from tonight, we're back with So You Think You Know Craps. This will also be episode 9. G and I have been doing 2 talk shows a month. One tonight, Dice Tossing Techniques, the name of the show. The second show is called So You Think You Know Craps. This is the 9th month. We've got a couple more to go, and we've got some good giveaways coming up in the month of December for everybody that will show up that night to win some stuff that we haven't shown tonight. And tonight you get the chance to win what he's showing now. And, of course, we've got all those entries in for those jackets. And G's giving away. He keeps up on the number of jackets, but it's somewhere between 5 and 8 jackets that G's going to give away, I believe, is the number.
So far, it's 8. Yeah, it started
Yeah.
with 5, now it's 8. So December has to get here fast, or else it's going to be like 20.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
So, yeah.
Anyway, G, go ahead. That's it. I mean, talk about it, and I'll put the
No,
code
no,
back
that's
up
just
here.
it's not like a big blanket, but the ones that got it said it's really nice. It's very comfy. It's just kind of like a throw blanket. It's just there. I only got 10, maybe a dozen. So once these are gone, they're gone. Just like the coffee mugs and the placemats that we do on the other shows. There's no merchandising. Once these are gone, they're gone. So they're limited edition. Limited edition.
Are they
This is-
autographed by you? That's the question everybody wants to know.
No,
No, I'm kidding. That's
you
kidding.
don't
I'm
want my
kidding.
autograph. You don't
Yeah,
want my
no.
autograph.
Well, you can't read my writing, so you certainly don't want me to autograph it. Let's take a look, make sure that our software is working for this one. It is working. Cool beans. Yep. This is going to be the last call for the password, which is called Fleece Winner, spelled just like I got it down below where G is standing. FLEECEWINNER, Fleece Winner. I will let you know coming up in the month of December when I start going live again for my shows in the Thanksgiving time frame. I'll be doing some shows live. We will be giving away sets of dice this year coming from Casino Tiers. The dice will be given away. I do not think the Craps Nation has gotten their order in, and if they have, I didn't get confirmation that I asked for the dice that I did. But we're going to get the dice from Casino Tiers. We'll be giving away a set of dice. Every live show I have will be giving away casino-grade dice, starting right after Thanksgiving all the way up through the week of Christmas. I always say Christmas, but I don't go live the last couple of days before Christmas. All right, G, any final words tonight before we draw this next...
No,
Just
I'm just glad we got the show going, and we actually had a show, and I appreciate everybody um, coming on and you know staying with us. Well, I see
here.
some nice pork and
Here's the
911 goggles back
off
there.
question here.
Yes,
Jay Z wants to know: does he see some nice Porsche 911s in G's background?
yes,
Not the, not we're not gonna spend a lot of time on that.
no, but
Oh,
just
look at
just
this!
one of
I
them.
did. Maybe I will have extra dice to give away. Jay Z says he has got the shipment of new dice. Wow, cool. I ordered a lot of dice there too back in the spring. A lot of dice, like over almost 5 digits worth of dice to be given away. Anyway, go ahead, Jay. Explain what you got there. Let's wrap the show up.
No, no, I just want to show it, and no, you're not going to get that with the fleece. Whoever wins it, I'm just. I have several. I just brought one since you saw that, but
All right, so I'm going to recap here before we give this away. Craps for the Cure, guys. If you can't be there, please tune in to Casino Quest on the Casino Quest YouTube channel, Casino Gaming TV YouTube channel this coming Saturday and Sunday, the 13th and 14th. John's weekend, birthday weekend from Pro Craps, John from Pro Craps, and 10 o'clock Vegas time. Now, we're here on the East Coast. That's a little later, so it's I think, Jen, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 7 hours, 8 hours of broadcast each day, and it's this weekend. I appreciate that, Jack, as well. I'm flying out to Vegas Thursday, so I think I'm one of the first ones to come in on Thursday. So look, our good friend Jack says thanks for working through all the technical difficulties tonight and doing the show. Appreciate it,
yeah.
Jeff and G. And you guys have no idea what we had to do because the issue was not on my end. It was due to a recent Windows 11 update. So, guys, if you've got a Windows computer and you do some type of stuff like this, make sure you test your computer. I knew that the problem existed. It's just that G and I took a while to get it finalized. But thank you,
Literally
Jack. That's what keeps us going. Those type comments.
2 minutes. I believe it was 8:43 when I was
Yeah, we
able
missed
to
it.
log into vMix.
We missed the pre-show. We typically get on there and shoot the crap for 15 minutes before we start the show, and then
Yep.
we edit that very first part of the show out with the YouTube's software, and then
And,
we go.
and I'm
with it.
disappointed. I had a lot of crap to shoot.
Yeah, you did, and I had a lot of fine tuning because your setup of your cameras was totally different to what I'm used to, and I didn't have any time to adjust it. So the beginning of the show, is actually very poorly produced, and we'll let it go at that. All right, let me put this up here one more time. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I
last
mean,
call.
usually we do a pre-show, like we get on and Jeff sees my setup and he's like, okay, now I got to do this, do that. He's never seen this stadium, and I figured, oh, we'll have time. No, we went live, and he's like, I don't know how to focus you, center you. I said, don't worry about it. Just put me on the screen and let's go.
Yeah, but
So
gee, you can't just put you on the screen because you're in a small little corner of the screen. Nobody could even see you. I had to sit here and cut and paste and size and resize
I know.
and edit the
I
whole
know.
thing the first 25 minutes of the show just to get you
My
so
bad.
it's working now. It's okay. It's not a problem because I can show people this is what we typically look like, and G is typically in frame when we are here. And then typically we go to this screen here when we do questions, and I couldn't even do that because you can't even see G. Yeah, where is he? Where's G? Well, maybe somebody might not want to see you, but in any event, let's see if this comes up. Okay, we're gonna give this away. Last call, fleece winner, and we'll give just one of these, just one. This is only one winner, so the first name I draw will be it. So here we go. We're gonna do it. Coming up in 3, 2, and 1. Joe can never say he hasn't ever won anything on this show. So before Jay-Z puts it in there, Joe always win. Joe has won before, but Joe's like he was like 0 for like 300 from 4 years ago when I started doing this, and he won once again earlier, either this year or late last year. But Joe's the winner of the fleece. Joe, what you have to do is you have to go to midatlanticcraps.com, go to the promotion tab, and center the tab there where it says promotions and contests. Drop down in the remarks, put fleece fleece blanket winner and put all your information in there. I probably have your address, but it's better off that you put it in there so I have a record of it. midatlanticcraps.com, center page, fill it out. I send it to G, and Martha ships it. Martha ships it. I'm going to put this back up because he answered up. He's still watching. I've won twice now. That's right. Joe has won twice. So you can say that he always wins, Jay-Z. He put that up there, too. Jay-Z.
So he's won this before or something else?
No, he won on the show something else. But in any event,
Okay.
he says awesome thanks that he's won twice. So wow, I knew Jay-Z was going to put that up there. All right, Joe, G, let's wrap the show up. And we'll get the dice out of here. I'm getting ready to use another term.
So did I hear you correctly that Dice Legion is about to 7 out in a few weeks?
I doubt he's still listening, but if he is, I don't think he's 7 out. I have actually met his fiance now. She's a really, really sweet person. She's probably Chris is probably lucky to have her than the other way around. I had the opportunity to have dinner with them back in 22 when I held my meetup in Atlantic City. We had like 45 people there, and about 16 of us went to this dinner where they had a Guy Fieri's. One of his featured restaurants that he has on one of his shows, and we sat out on the porch, and man, did we cut up and carry on. And if you ever see Jen, just ask her about the three-way, and she'll tell you everything you want to know about that night at there. And if you think I'm being sarcastic about the three-way, it's a menu item, guys. It's right on the menu. You just order the three-way, and you get, and that's what you get. Thanks, Rock. I appreciate that. We try to keep it entertaining. We try to keep it Oh man, gee, I've messed up my. What is it? Inter-educational. There we go. Inter-educational. Yeah. I said it backwards. That's a phrase I coined a couple years ago when we were trying to be funny. But in any event, all right, Jay, closing words, and we'll get the puck out of here.
Appreciate everyone joining and listening, and I hope the information is informative. Whether you're watching live or later on, you pick us up on the rerun. If you're watching us live or if you watch this before the weekend, please go donate. It doesn't matter, $1, $10, $100, every dollar counts. That's for a good cause. First of all, it's puppies. I mean, you gotta love the dogs. You know, I mean, if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. And plus, it's going to the vets. You know, do something. Even if it's $1. Nobody's going to laugh at you or nobody's going to look at you funny. And again, thank you. If you like what you see here, like and subscribe on Jeff's channel. I'm looking forward to this weekend for multiple reasons. I have a guest coming in that Dice Coach is said, if you're ever in Atlanta, go see G. So he's coming over and we're going to throw craps together, and then next weekend I believe the G crew is coming over, so we're gonna have fun. I've got a full 2 weeks pretty much ahead of me.
All right, and 2 weeks from tonight it's So You Think You Know Craps. And one more time, G, I know you said the show, the title or the topic, but I kind of missed it while I was doing some editing here.
Yeah, it's all about center bets. Are they it's how I play them, my opinion of them, and why, and what I would consider circus bets. Which ones I would consider circus bets.
Circus bets. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. I think that's going to be. It, G. I don't have anything else to say. We'll see you in 2 weeks, guys. If you're coming to be in Vegas, I'll be there from the 11th to the 17th. A bunch of us are going to be at. I'll go ahead and give it away. They might get mad at me, but there's several of us playing at Planet Hollywood. There's a couple that have a bed and breakfast. We'll all be at Palace Station and over at CQ during those days. Come by and stop by and see us. Support the event. It's a good event. It's a good cause, Craps for the Cure, where we raise money for service animals the last 2 years for a very, very, very good cause. And if you can't be there, please tune in to Casino Quest and the Casino Gaming TV this coming Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 6-ish Vegas time. That's Pacific time. here on the East Coast, it's a little bit of that. So I think with that, I'll put this chat up here, then I'm going to call it a night. G, thank you once again for. I highly recommend doing a 3-way with Jeff. That's a menu item, guys. It's a menu item on the menu there. We'll leave it with that. Jay, thank you very much for being here. Sorry for the technical issues we had today. Typically, we were on 45 minutes before showtime, and we actually did start that time. And whoo!
Thank you for hosting and putting up with me.
Yep, no problem. Guys, still 2 weeks from now, September 23rd, 8:30ish Eastern Time. We'll come back with show you. So you think you know craps. Otherwise, I'll see you in Vegas this coming week. And thank you very much for your support, your patronage. Everybody that's here, I can't depend the chats of everybody saying good show, so forth and so on, like I normally do, because you have no idea what I did behind the scene. As always, God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for your thoughts and your prayers, not only for everybody else out there suffering, but myself and my girlfriend over the past year. It's been a blessing. And for those of you that haven't met her, you'll meet her this weekend in Atlantic City, in Vegas. Have a good one. As always, be safe, play smart. I'll see you this week or in 2 weeks. Catch you then.